products from AIRAID, the Performance Intake Company. In order to add some grunt to our 2011 Camaro Super Sport, we'll be installing a 50-state legal AIRAID Jr performance intake system, as well as AIRAID's high-flow dry element premium air filter. And to top it all off, we have an AIRAID Poweraid Throttle body spacer to give it some of that low-end grunt. So these are all the components we're going to be installing in our 2011 Camaro Super Sport today. Let's start off with everything in the AIRAID Jr intake kit. It starts off with a one-piece rotomolded intake tube that increases flow and power. Then we have premium urethane and silicone couplers to keep everything together. These kits also include any hoses or hardware necessary for the installation. Then we have 4 stainless steel hose clamps and AIRAID's high-flow dry element premium air filter to top it all off. Then we move over to the AIRAID Poweraid Throttle body spacer. It's machined out of aluminum, it's a billet piece, and it has a red anodized finish on it, so it looks fantastic. And then it has a patented helix bore enzyme to improve low-end torque and power. It also includes fantastic gaskets as well as hardware, and both these kits have fantastic instructions, so it's easy for anybody. But perhaps the most important part of these installations is they include CARB exemption stickers, so that these are 50-state legal products. We are going to start by installing the Poweraid Throttle body spacer. Remove the oil fill cap and set it aside. Then lift straight up on the engine beauty cover and set it aside as well. Then reinstall the oil fill cap after the beauty cover has been removed to prevent any foreign material from entering the crankcase. Now you need to disconnect the breather hose elbow by pulling it straight away from the intake tube. It is only held in place by an O-ring. Now use a 5/16 nut driver to loosen the 2 hose clamps that secure the intake tube to the throttle body and the airbox lid. Then remove the air intake tube. Now you will remove the 4 bolts that secure the throttle body to the intake manifold. These use a 10mm socket and you will need an extension on your ratchet. Now install the Poweraid spacer between the throttle body and the intake manifold. The flange with the flat edge goes on the lower passenger side, and the extruded part of the spacer goes into the intake manifold. Now install the supplied gasket with the flat edge oriented like the spacer. The gasket goes between the spacer and the throttle body. To keep the gasket and spacer in place, start one of the new provided bolts with one of the new provided washers. With a 10mm nut driver, start the other 3 bolts with their respective washers. You now need to torque these 4 bolts to manufacturer specifications in an X pattern. For our application, the torque spec is 9 foot-pounds. Now reinstall the intake tube, tighten the 2 hose clamps, reconnect the crankcase breather tube, reinstall the beauty cover, and reinstall the oil cap. Lastly, you need to stick on the CARB exemption sticker. You will want to put this in a secure and visible place so that your smog technician can easily read the executive order number. We will now install the AIRAID Jr intake kit on our 2011 Camaro SS. First, remove the oil cap and lift up on the engine cover to unseat it from the mounting grommets. Then replace the oil cap for now to prevent debris from entering the valve cover. Sound familiar? Next, you need to disconnect the crankcase breather on the factory intake tube. It simply snaps into place and can be removed with a firm tug. Then locate the locking ring and release its tab inside of the crankcase breather fitting above the passenger side valve cover and release it from the steel line. Remove the breather from the vehicle, it will not be reused. Using a 5/16 nut driver, loosen the clamps on the throttle body and the airbox and remove the stock intake tube from the vehicle. We will now be replacing the factory air filter with AIRAID's premium synthetic high-flow air filter. Unsnap the 2 tabs on the airbox, pull it to the driver's side, remove the old filter and throw that piece of junk away, and install the new AIRAID filter. Then slide the airbox on towards the passenger side and snap the two tabs into place. Now take two of the number 68 hose clamps, the number is stamped on the side, then slide them over the new hump hose, keeping the bolt heads accessible. Then slide the whole assembly onto the airbox. Now slide the smaller number 60 clamp and the larger number 68 clamp onto the reducer coupler. Then slide this whole assembly onto the throttle body with the larger end facing you. Now install the barbed hose fitting onto the intake tube. Then use a flare nut wrench to snug the fitting down. Do not over tighten it, the plastic threads can strip easily. Now insert the intake tube assembly onto the hump hose first, then into the coupler on the throttle body. Then using a 5/16 nut driver, tighten the 4 hose clamps down. Now slide the provided 3/8 breather hose onto the steel crankcase breather tube on the valve cover. Then secure the breather hose to the barbed fitting using the plastic speed clamp. Tighten it with your fingers first, then grab a pair of pliers and tighten it all the way down. Now reinstall the engine beauty cover and the oil cap, and you're almost done. Lastly, you will want to install your carb exemption sticker in a safe, visible, and secure place so that your smog technician can read the executive order number. The AIRAID Jr intake kit and the Poweraid Throttle body spacer could not have been easier to install. The new intake tube with its AIRAID lettering adds a little pizzazz, and the little speck of a red anodized throttle body spacer is subtle yet mean looking. If these products perform as well as they look, then this Camaro is ready to hit the streets. We've been driving our 2011 Camaro Supersport project vehicle for the last couple days with the AIRAID Jr intake kit and Poweraid Throttle body spacer. We love the low-end torque that it's starting to produce, and we love the sound out of the exhaust. If you want to see what AIRAID has for your vehicle, check out AIRAID.com. Thank you for watching Garage Guru TV. I'll see you around. If you would like to see your product featured on Garage Guru TV, please feel free to email us at garagegurutv@gmail.com. Thank you for tuning in to Garage Guru TV.